Hello, my name is Persaud, and today I'm interviewing Mr. Kinsey, an Old Bridge High School chemistry teacher who's been teaching for over 20 years. Mr. Kinsey, let's get right into the interview. Mr. Kinsey, in your opinion, what makes up a good chemistry student?
Good chemistry student's one who's not just the regular academic stuff about doing their homework and wanting to learn, but they're ones who are enthusiastic about science and learning for just, more than the grade. So people with natural curiosity, I think, is a huge help.
Personally, what was your personal path to becoming a teacher for Old Bridge High School?
It was a long path. I was actually out of college for 10 years. I was working in contracting, mechanical piping. I did everything from being a gopher on construction sites to a pipe fitter, foreman, did design of jobs, sales, everything. I got a little bit bored with that. And it was actually when my kids were really young, I thought that teaching would be something that would enable me to be a better parent. And I think it worked out well. I was right about that one.
On the topic of teaching, many students think school is boring and they don't feel like going. What makes your class different? What do you utilize to make teaching more fun?
I think that it's just treating people how I would want to be treated, and not just standing in front of the classroom and being cold and lecturing without any kind of personal interaction. And I think more like college was for me, is a professor standing in front of the room, not really interacting with students. And I didn't want to teach it as a professor teaches. Well, we do have the benefit of doing labs, which is always there, but I think that also making the classroom part of it more interesting, building personal relationships with students, not to be cold and just to lecture to an audience who's not responding, to get everybody involved, and also not to downplay the information that you're teaching. That I find it interesting, so I try to convey that through my teaching to make students more interested the same way that I feel more interested in the topic.
What do you think, what is your favorite part about chemistry? What is the part you like the most?
The thing is, when I was in school, I probably wasn't really even on a path towards going to college, so it wasn't something until I started taking science, and especially chemistry, that I think that it answered a lot of the questions that things I had always wondered about. And I'm really interested in how the world works, how things are what they are. I think, for example, my second favorite subject was probably history, because it kind of does the same thing in a way, is that it goes in and it kind of explains how did we get to where we are today. And to me, that's what science, and specifically chemistry, does, is just to think about the things that we see and what's going on the level of little tiny things like atoms that we can't see, but to explain it in those terms.
Lastly, what is some final advice you give to students who are struggling but want to succeed in chemistry?
So for the students who want to succeed, that's a big part of it. If they want to succeed, that usually kids will find a way. And I can just tell stories about even when I was in school, I saw some of my friends who really it didn't come that easy to them, but they kept at it. And I especially had one friend who didn't do well in math and science at all when he was in high school, and couldn't even get into a four-year college. He went to county college for a while, but he kept at it, and he had to take basic math skills, and he said one day everything just clicked. Now he's a chemist, and he works for DuPont, a pretty major chemical company, so it actually worked out really well. And it's hard to say that to a teenager, because a lot of times you just want to think about what's the most fun right now, what's going to get me results right now. But if you really want to succeed and you keep at it, it will happen.
Once again, thank you for coming, and
thank you.